emancipation, don't enjoy quite young. I was on the humble, you on every station. Someone play young, loving like she done. But remember not to game the one of the sun. Everything you did has already been done. Know all the tricks from Rich to Kingston. I take down, make the kingdom one rock. To understand El Boogie, now I love.
What you doing, cause I'm about to ruin the image and the style that you used to. I look funny, but yo, I'm making money, see? So yo, world, I hope you're ready for me. Now gather round. I'm a new fool in town, and my sound's laid down by the underground. I'm drinking all the Hennessy you got in your shelf. So just let me introduce myself. My name is Humpty, pronounced with the Humpty. Yo, ladies, oh, how I like to funk.
Yeah, it's been that kind of Humpty day. What?
Straight from Oaktown to the underground.
Woo! Liberated, Ohlone LaShawn land. We coming to you live from 96.1 KEXU. Porn News Network. That's PNN, not CNN, people.
Ooh.
And yeah, you got a crumb? Kick it down. We need some. So, who are you, brother?
Ha, ha, ha. I'm the Black Cripple. Look at me, hear this.
I am the poverty scholar, criminalized, racialized, and always in struggle for $1. I'm all the people you don't want to see, never want to be. Look away from me. What you gonna do, arrest me? We're in your city. I am the poverty scholar, and I'm rocking my jailhouse attire because me and my po mama did the poverty crime, did the jail time for just trying to stay alive in this holler. Yeah, we here, and we are proud to be here on Liberated. I want to repeat that. Liberated, Ohlone LaShawn land, aka Deep East Oakland. And I say liberated to say that there would be no gentrification, displacement, land grabbing, and real estate snaking if more people stopped buying and selling Mama Earth. And that's what we try to do right up in here, us
That's
poor
right.
people. So,
Mother Earth don't like that. We got tornadoes, earthquakes. Listen up. Mother don't like it.
speak on that. So tell us this week, this news, this Porn News Network News Hour, we're going to talk a little bit about the anger of Mama Earth, how she's being treated all over the earth and how she's fighting back, and also how our brothers and sisters in struggle. So first off, before we do anything else, love to our Ohlone LaShawn ancestors upon whose lands we are humbly sitting, standing, and reporting.
Amen.
Ashe, Ho, Omateo. Also, Seminka Konawari, Ataavi, Ho, out to our brothers and sisters, Taino, Borican, brothers and sisters in Puerto Rico, who are struggling behind empire lies and Americlan disguise. And to our brothers and sisters, our hermanos and hermanas in Mexico, the DF. So all that to say, we in our humble way can send those prayers out, but we're also reaching out to all y'all to decolonize your mind from the empire lies. What they're telling you is never what is actually happening. Right? And for us poor people, when we have disasters happen, our life gets worse because the threads we were holding on to, now we don't even got those threads. So we want to send some special messages out to the folks behind the plantation prison walls in Puerto Rico, behind the plantation prison walls in the DF, and Hurricane Harvey in Tejas, in Texas, and New Orleans in the Caribbean.
And also the people in nursing homes.
That's
you know?
right.
We gotta stop putting our elders in nursing homes, you know?
These ghettos, these elder ghettos are places for our beautiful elders, for with whom there would be no us. So, Leroy, Black Crip Hop Nation, can you tell us the genocide going on with our brothers and sisters across America?
Oh my God, it's a bloody September. Bloody September. And this is not no YouTube song. This is reality. From Chicago to New York to Oklahoma, people with disabilities, brown, black people have been shot by police. Deaf people, blind people. Let me count the ways. 6. including one today. So that's seven brown and black disabled people that have been shot by police in September. What day is it?
28th.
28th. What's going up? What's going up? BLM. What's going up? Our disabled people are being shot by police. A blind man came out of his house trying to protect his community. There was a fight on the lawn. He had a gun pointing up to the sky. And everybody around him was like, he's blind, don't shoot. They shot him. A deaf person out in Oklahoma. People was shouting, don't shoot, he's deaf. The police showed up, 2 seconds, boom, boom. So what's going on? People with disabilities have been shot by police. This month alone, 6 people. You know?
So can we have a conversation a little bit about that? One of the ways that we walk a different journey at Prensa Pobre, Poor Magazine, and Homefulness, as we both know, is to never call the police.
Never.
So I know that you as an organizer just like me, we're always being told the answer is more training. Can you tell listeners and viewers a little bit about that?
So let's go back, because I've been on this issue since 1985.
And 95 for me.
And in 1989, Memphis, Tennessee rolled out the first police training. So it's been on the books since 1989. It's 2017. It's not working. So we need to stop giving our money to the police, take it away, and bring it back to the community. And teach our community. See what's going on now is that, after a shooting, of course activists get active, we hold rallies, and we go to police hearings, and the police is like, okay, we're going to do training. We're going to do training, and everybody split and go back home, and it's still happening since 1989. So we need to stop that one-way avenue. We need to get out of that street and come back home and teach our own communities. Go to your neighbor and say, hey neighbor, let's talk. Let me get to know your son with a mental health disability so you can call your neighbor. That's what Poor Magazine is doing. They have a Never Call the Cop workshop.
That's right.
You guys need to take it.
Just to give a little background on that, if folks want specific, they're like, oh my God, what do I do? Well, first of all, with these 7 cases, how many of them was launched by police calls?
Yeah, all of them.
Exactly. Now I want to get real clear about that. You call those 3 little numbers, you're calling in the people who test, arrest, and incarcerate us. A lot of our poor people and people of color are the ones who do it. Let's not get into some blame game and act like, oh, it's those bad white people. Actually, a lot of the time, it's us.
Yeah.
Because we've all been colonized to the idea that 3 numbers is our route to safety. Whose idea of safety? The first thing we question is, whose concept of safe? The same people who stole this indigenous territory with guns and weapons and blankets with diseases? The same people who kill our young people for standing on the street? That's their construct of safety. It's not ours. As indigenous peoples, we have safety knowledge that goes back to Mother Earth, that goes back to our ancestors, to our prayer, and to each other. And when we say interdependence, we're not saying some cutesy hippie concept. We're saying something that takes a really long time.
Yes, it's called work.
That's
People
right.
work. It's not a grand cycle.
Exactly.
It's not a grand. It's called knocking on your door to the neighbor and say, let's talk.
That's right. So if you want some immediate guidelines on this, go on to www.poormagazine.org and look up the article, How to Not Call the Police Ever. Then there's also 11, 12, or 13 things you can do to never call the KKK cops. So again, these are immediate things, and if you're watching and you want more guidance, we do come out to schools, institutions, places, and spaces and teach on this. But the first and the worst thing you can do is make those 3 numbers feel like safety to you, because they are not.
So let's go to the gentrification report, honey. What's going on?
Well, here's another happy story. Sadly not. Sadly, I'm being sarcastic, but I do want to say, Mama D said without humor, us poor people would have no way. So I want to say it's also important to lift up that humor, lift up to that music, that ritmo, and that sound that makes us be able to live, to pray to ancestors, to keep us going on another day. Sadly, my gentrification report this week, which by the way is going to lead to a Poor People's Lawyer Hour on the up-and-coming KEXU 96.1 FM, because we all know as poor folks we have no representation. And that, stay tuned for that. It should drop in October. This week we got 3 families. One of them dealt with, and actually all 3 of them, dealt with illegal notices to vacate. So I want to tell folks out there who might be listening, watching, and hearing that just because you get a notice from this scam lord, and just because it looks legal, it doesn't mean it is. The first and the worst thing you can do is not know that you have rights. Within the California Rent Control Board, you actually have rights no matter where you are in Califas Aslan, no matter where you are in this state. In other states, there are basic rights to tenancy in every state of Americland. So the first thing you have to do is recognize that in your heart. The second thing you need to do, like I'm counseling this family, is to write a paper trail of what happened in the place. If in fact you paid the rent, if there's inhabitability issues, document those. Paper trail is what kills the paper pushers. The KKK courts survive and thrive on the killing of paper. So I want you to lift that off you, lift the mantle that you have no rights. And if you want more information on that, you can email poormag@gmail.com and we will give you more advice. This week's gentrification report is brought to you by the Poets Project of Poor Magazine. And what we're also letting you know is that you cannot give up, that you can continue to fight. In these cases, 2 of the families are fighting. We're trying to keep them in Oakland, and we're also launching the Bank of Community Reparations to make sure that our folks can stay here. How do you de-gentrify a neighborhood? How do you work actively to keep our communities intact? Well, guess what? Anybody out there watching, it has to do with bloodstained dollars. If you have any, go on to the, what is it, Indiegogo? What is our site? Or the GoFundMe.
GoFundMe.
Landless People's Land Liberation and Housing Movement. We are trying to raise money to start another homefulness and to keep 4 families here in Deep East before the gentrifiers recolonize our communities. So I think that's about it for tonight.
Yeah, I think that's it. You know, stay tuned. KEXU 94.1.
96.1!
96.1 FM.
We love you. We love you. Eloni Lashalan, Sharuru, thank you ancestors, thank you community. Tune in next time.
Donation.